Zach, thank you for meeting us here in Weissenhaus, Germany. This is the first time you are here at a freestyle event. If you can start with sharing your thoughts about the tournament.
Oh, one of the most glamorous, prestigious, beautiful chess tournaments I've ever seen. I mean, conditions for the players are world class. It's unbelievable. Zoom back your camera. The chessboards are inside, like the table, for all the tables in the playing hall. It's fascinating, really. I loved having a top tier seat almost at the play. I was recording footage at the playing hall, centimeters, meters from the chess players day long. It was an experience of a lifetime.
Wonderful. And which moment in the last 3 days was your favorite? If you had to select one.
Ooh. So I'm gonna go underrated. Of course, when Magnus won and I saw that live, you see greatness for the first time live, it's exceptional, unbelievable. But recently, actually, I saw like an endgame, Aronian versus Erigaisi. And it was a very, very interesting endgame. And it's stuff that I would, work on myself, like study from endgame books, and to just be able to see the poetry in motion on the chessboard by two of the strongest players in the world was so fun to watch live. And I got to record that, and I got to bring instruction to that game. And to me, it was so pleasant to see masterful technique. Like, you play a game, right? But the best at your game, just playing it in front of your eyes, is a totally new experience.
Right, it was the rook end game, right? Where
Yes.
Levon had the extra pawn.
Yes, and Levon has to find this rook d6 check, rook c6, or rook c6 check to sacrifice the rook, and then it gives a queen versus rook endgame.
Yes, absolutely beautiful. And Zach, so your experience, like your face shows how beautiful the experience that you had in the last few days. Let's take a step back and understand that how did you come to the world of chess? How did your chess journey began, if you want to share with us?
Great question. I come from a family of 0 chess players. So to even be a chess player myself is, to say the least, unexpected, improbable. But here I am. I learned chess by a total coincidence at school when I was very, very young, 5 years old. And I just naturally have a competitive spirit. So I would play against my parents, whom I beat, and I'd play chess players in the chess club, whom I beat, and then I would play in chess tournaments. So by the age of 7, I played my first chess tournament ever.
Oh, wow.
And since then, I've been in the chess world for around 18 years.
Wow.
On and off with the tournaments, but I've always been in some capacity on that game, the best game of all time.
So do you remember how did actually chess come to your life? Was it taught in school? Did you discover a chessboard at home? Do you remember the first instance you met a chessboard?
Yes, so the story goes, it was recreation time in kindergarten.
Okay.
And, kids were looking to play board games. So there was an assortment of board games from a shelf like you see behind me. And all the kids would choose their board games that they love.
Yeah.
And I, for some reason, didn't want to play a conventional board game. I chose the only board game that was actually made of wood, which was a wooden chessboard.
Okay.
And I didn't know what it was. But I took it out of the shelf and I brought it to the supervisor and I asked, "What is this?" Chessboard, no pieces, nothing at all. And he says, "Well, this is the game of chess. Let me get the pieces for you."
Wow.
And he takes the pieces out of the shelf, shows me and my friend Robin how to play, and yada, 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 I'm a chess player now.
Wow. Were you born and raised in Canada?
Yes, I was born and raised in Canada.
Which part of Canada, if you want to share?
Yeah, Montreal. So it's the
okay.
French-speaking and English-speaking part of Canada.
Okay.
Very proud that I'm from there.
Amazing. And could you please tell us, growing up, as you started to understand chess, how did chess become more like an influential part of your life? And also, who were your heroes when you were growing up?
It's funny that you say the second part of that question is crazy because a lot of my heroes are actually here.
Oh.
Not only on the strip, I got to meet them, almost as equals. I mean, not equals as in chess, but as like just humans, which is crazy to say 12, 15 years down the line. I guess I immersed myself into the chess world, as chess is such a challenging game. After failure, despite my loving of the game, I just couldn't get it out of my mind. There was this one kid, and every year, the state or provincial chess tournament, he would beat me in every single grade, but he was the best, but not by far. We would go into triple tiebreaks, and then he would beat me and win the state championship and go on to the nationals. And this would happen every year, and this sufferance, this pain, made me just fall in love with the game more and more. Like something about your going against your failures, like trying to find out why you're failing and go against it. And then secondly, when growing up, actually, Fabiano Caruana and Levon Aronian were my idols because Fabiano was Italian, and at the time there were no strong Italian chess players.
Okay.
But Fabiano is obviously American now.
Yes.
But he had such an Italian name, so I was such a Fabi fan. And then I was a fan of also Levon Aronian, both players of which are here, which is insane.
Yes.
But Levon is, I'm a big fan of his because I'm a quarter Armenian.
Oh.
And Levon is fully Armenian.
Yeah.
So he was the #1 Armenian player, and he was the #2 player in the world, I believe in 2014 or maybe 2012. So this is right around when I was 11 or 12 years old, and looking up and seeing someone from my roots, the country of my roots, achieving the highest level in chess was so inspiring to me. To me, Magnus was not as relatable coming from Norway, but Levon certainly was a big idol of mine growing up. And just to meet him here, to talk chess with him, is a life experience I will keep close to my heart for a very, very long time.
Wow. Did you mention this to him?
No.
Oh.
I didn't because when meeting these top players, a part of me thinks that one day I may be friends with them, and I don't want to create an imbalance by me telling him that I'm his idol or he was my idol growing up, and then him always thinking that at the back of his mind.
Okay.
But
nice.
I keep it for myself. But yes,
Yeah.
if you guys are watching Fabiano and Levon, you guys were my idols growing up, and thank you for inspiring me into inspiring others with this incredible game of chess.
That's really very interesting take on how to approach someone that you have admired all your life, to keep this to yourself. That's really very interesting. Okay, so now that you have learned chess in kindergarten and you are playing with your colleagues throughout national levels and state levels, how did it become a part of you? And how did the journey from a chess player to a chess nerd become? That's very interesting for us to know.
Yeah, the chess player to the chess nerd journey became when I realized that if you want to be a professional chess player in 2015, you have to be basically a top 15, top 20 player in the world at that time, which was not very possible given that my rating was maybe 1800 of the, not even FIDE, like provincial. But I wanted to be a professional chess player. So I saw and heard that on Instagram and all these new social platforms, people were making not only a living, but a lot of money from it.
Which year was it?
This is like 2016, 2017,
Oh.
The idea started popping into my head.
Okay.
And then 2018, as a New Year's resolution, January 2nd, I say to myself, Zach, you've never finished a chess book in your life. You're a failure. And so now you're gonna finish one chess book. So I looked through my chess books at the time, and I chose this one chess book, a very known one, Zurich International Chess Tournament 1953. It's this pinkish violet book. And I said to myself, you're gonna go through every single chess game in this book, not only A, to finish the book, but also B, you're gonna show proof of you having gone through that game and gone through the commentary by posting a picture of the key positions on Instagram. And that's gonna be shown as proof that you went through that game that day and you're you're gonna tell some very nice details in that caption about what you thought of that game. And so that was the start of the Chess Nerd. I started on Instagram for about the first 2 years. I grew to like 10,000 followers. Then I expanded to YouTube, and then years later to Twitch, which is like the newest platform that I started. And now I do all platforms, and I'm very grateful to say that I believe I've inspired many people with my passion for the game, and aim to do much more of that in the future.
What an absolutely inspiring journey that you had, that
Thank you.
had the resilience to challenge yourself. I am sure that you understand that content creation may look very shiny, fancy and easy, but it's an everyday grind. It's like an everyday job, right?
Yeah, at this point, I think it's part of my personality that I love challenge. And it's the same for chess as it is with content. They're ever so challenging that I just my gravity is pulled towards it because of its challenge. It's kind of weird. But the greater the challenge, the greater the feeling when you achieve against that challenge. So maybe that's why I get such a joy when an Instagram post does well or a YouTube video does well. And I get the same amount of joy when I play a beautiful chess game. These feelings, they stay with me and they want me striving for more. So it keeps my fiery passion.
Wow. Tell us how you started 2016, 2026 now, 10 years you're into your journey. How have you seen the world of content, chess content grow, and how has it evolved?
So I would say I started, for the record, I started 2018, my very first piece of content. So I think I've been for a little bit more than 8 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just so crazy now. When I started in like 2017, when I was about to start in 2017, when I started in 2018, it was crazy. Like the legends in chess, the Levon Aronians, the Hikaru Nakamuras, they weren't publishing content, and their public Instagrams were like 2,000 followers, 1,000 followers, and I thought, this is crazy. Like, they're much more famous than these numbers. It's only a matter of time. And so that gave me some inspiration that this might be the future, because they're very underrated themselves. Mm-hmm. So what does this say about me? And I believe just seeing the growth of social media, but also with the growth of chess within social media. So I observed both of those growths at the same time, which was very interesting, because you're seeing the game that you love being brought onto the main stage for a long time, and it's you want to see your game become popular. It's very fun.
Okay, 8 years of chess content making. There were many milestones that you have crossed. Do you remember any special milestone which is very close to your heart?
Yes, there's one milestone that I keep very, very close to my heart. I think I was in university at the time, and I was hitting around 100,000 subscribers, or very close to it. And I was in class, constantly refreshing my feed. I'm in class, like my marketing class. And it comes to the point where I'm at like 99,952 subscribers. I can't wait to get out of this class. I have to record myself and my reaction to 100K subs. So the class ends, and by this time it's like 99,972 subscribers. And so like I rush back home. It's like a 10-minute walk, and I get back home and it's like 99,991 subscribers. And then I wait for these 9 other subscribers on camera, and it was very, very memorable experience. Of course, you receive a plaque, a silver plaque, once you hit 100,000 subs, and I'd been working for a very, very long time to achieve that. So when I did, it was like the best feeling in the world.
Wow, very special, very special. You have created a lot of content. Is there any special piece of content that you created here, which I'm sure that we will be able to see in the coming days, which you are very excited about?
Tons. I've created the content of my lifetime here.
Oh, wow.
I filmed a chess game that I played, a chess game plus interview. I interviewed him during the chess game. This was with Magnus Carlsen, a certain a certain chess player, Magnus Carlsen. And that whole content day, so the first day I arrived, or the second day I arrived, was phenomenal. I got to interview all 8 participants of this super tournament. This is like a category 20 tournament, which means it's the strongest tournament probably in the world per average rating. And I got to interview everyone. Levon Aronian, Magnus Carlsen, Zachary Saine. They were all on camera for at least 15 minutes.
Wow.
And I recorded probably the most richly dense piece of content in my life.
Amazing. And I know this can be difficult to answer or maybe easy. Do you have a special or a favorite platform to post content?
Yeah, it always changes based on what the platform offers you in terms of exposure. So at one point it was TikTok, at another point it was Instagram, but then the Instagram algorithm kind of turned off, but now it's still Instagram, and also it will always be YouTube. YouTube is where, as a content creator, you make your first penny after sweating those first 10,000 subscribers, and then you make your first dollar and you're like, oh my God, there's a chance I could make a living from this. And I would say Instagram and YouTube these days.
Okay. If you go back to 8 years, if you go back 8 years back and you are just starting content, what would you tell yourself if you had a chance to tell today?
Follow your passion. I started this whole journey because of passion, and in the very tough times where I was getting no engagement or when my posts were not receiving the amount of likes that I wanted, my passion for the game overthrew that discouragement and ultimately made me post more. So It's all about how you respond to challenge. And to me, I think my response to challenge is very natural, just like how I respond to challenge in chess. I always come back with a new layer of effort. And social media definitely taught me that on top of chess. And that's why it was so fun to be able to crack past it and then achieve success. It's just such a metaphor for life, if you will.
Absolutely. And what is next that you have planned? Do you have any goals for 2026, or you have as a content creator, do you have specific goals that you have set for yourself, or you just go with the flow?
Yeah, this year is completely crazy so far. I'm traveling more than I would like. Maybe I've traveled almost exclusively this year. I've been home very, very little time. And it's gonna keep coming like this for the rest of the year, I think, because so far it's just abnormally crazy. But it's the dream. It's what I worked for, and it's paying off for me, thankfully. I'm so grateful. But yeah, what's coming towards me is work, more work than that, maybe a job or two on the way, smiling, and witnessing greatness, of course, and being greatness. I also play chess tournaments regularly apart from being a content creator. So I'm also very invested in my professional chess career, which is not something I think all creators do. A lot of creators, they will do some chess tournaments with the content creation, but they won't do as many, or they won't train purposefully for the chess tournaments all the time and post content regularly. So managing both has been a big effort pull, and I'm getting by it little by little, but it just means that my mind is in content, my mind is in chess, my mind is back into content 1 month, and it's a whirlwind, but I'm doing my 2 passions and could not be more grateful.
Great point that you have mentioned, that you are also taking your professional chess playing in a serious way. Do you have any targets or any goals as a player?
Yeah, so currently I'm very, don't say this to my own YouTube channel, but I'm very close to achieving a title as of today, the time of recording, February 15th we are. My live ELO FIDE Classical is 2176.
Oh, wow.
My YouTube channel doesn't know this. My YouTube channel knows it's 2079. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So I'm 24 points theoretically from getting a title. I Canada's Master, which would mean the world to me because I would be able to play Title Tuesday and the new one, the Bullet Brawl, and the Thursday one, the 3+1 Thursday. So a whole new opportunity for content unlocks for me once I achieve that. And then beyond that, I would love to achieve greater heights. But I like setting micro goals for myself so that I can achieve little by little goal along the way so that I keep that fire in me. Something very important, I think, that I should share with the world that happened in an interview with Zachary Saine just 2 days ago is I asked him a question. The question doesn't matter, but his answer mattered. He said he achieved Grandmaster at like 13 years old. He was trying to beat the record. He didn't beat the record.
Yes.
But once he achieved Grandmaster, because it was all he wanted for so long, he lost a lot of his enthusiasm and his fiery passion for the game of chess for the next year and started plateauing in 2 bad results. So that's why for me, I want to try to avoid that mistake and set tiny goals so that I'm not always that satisfied enough to stop training or to let my results fall. So.
Okay. And one question just comes to mind. We see a lot of videos of you playing and shooting content, like playing professional games. When a position arrives which is not good for you, do you think that, okay, the position is gone, but maybe I can get some content out of it? Do you think of content-wise when you are on the board, or content completely goes off? Like professional tournaments. I'm not talking about fun tournaments or club games.
No, absolutely. I am streaming and recording a lot of my open tournaments nowadays. So I'm recording for some B-roll for the recaps mostly. And there's a camera there for sure, but I always think to myself, the camera is also there for my opponent, and my opponent is not used to the camera being there. So it's a huge advantage for me. So that's number one. Number two, I almost never think of the content. I'll think of a title to a YouTube video, but less and less as I record myself more and more and play chess. I'm just a chess player. The thing actually that does maybe tick me a little is that I have a fixed table. So no matter how I'm doing good or bad in the tournament, I never move tables. So my mind usually is towards like, okay, you achieve good in the tournament, you're doing good, you're on board too. But when you have a fixed table, your mind doesn't really know that, right? Yeah. Apart from that, in the last 3 months, a big secret of mine to gaining a lot of ELO, I'm up 97 ELO in the past 3 rating lists. And a big part of that is saving dead loss positions. Positions where the best move is to resign, or the best move is to make some move and then your opponent just kills you and you resign. But no, I taught myself the value of fighting, and fighting like a warrior, effortlessly for either salvaging a result or winning. And in the final round of this tournament in Sweden a month and a half ago, the white pieces were up by 10 points of material, said Stockfish Engine. And not only was I managed to salvage a draw, but I even managed to beat my opponent with the black pieces from that rock bottom. So the spirit of being a fighter is something I learned very much so in the past 3-4 months, and has guided me to even greater results. So for you guys at home, always fight till the last piece.
Absolutely. And one final question, Zach, people know you as the chess nerd. Would you like to share that if you had found any nerdy facts here in Weissenhaus?
Many nerdy facts, not many of which I can share, but I will share this with you. I learned that Zachary Saine is a massive football fan. Did you know that at home?
No.
Leave a comment down below.
I did not know that. Maybe
he's a Barca fan, which I was very shocked by. Yeah.
Okay.
And I learned that Levon Aronian has 70,000 songs on his Walkman. I mean, isn't that insane? I can't even name you 10 songs right now. And I feel like that's what's so fun about an experience like this, is that you learn the human side of these players. Of course, these players keep their personal lives to their person, but it gives an outlet or gives an inseam into their personal life and some characteristics about their personality. Also, Vincent Keimer is like one of the most genuine people you will know. You ask him a question and he seriously contemplates your question, thinks about it, and says an honest answer if he has nothing for you, or says or tells you a story with the utmost passion in the world if he does have something for you. So it's just these little things, but these little things create a chess world in your mind, and that's a big part of my passion for the world that is now growing, is that I get to meet these people in real life and get to interview them and get to learn about them and get to learn from them. And this is all part of a wonderful experience I'm living through right now.
Just amazing. I am very inspired just sitting here with you, with the passion
Thank
you
you,
have,
Aditya.
the dedication you have. It outshines you, and it also, if I can say, falls on us. And I'm sure anybody watching the video can be inspired in any way, being a professional player or a content creator or both.
Right.
Who knows that before Levi or Sagar, you can become a grandmaster. So yes,
There's always a chance.
yes, Zach, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Aditya.
And it was amazing to see you shoot content. We are already very excited to see what is being produced in your inventory, and it will be released soon. So and everybody watching, do follow Zach on all his social media platforms. We will be putting the links in the description. And Zach, thank you so much once again.
Thank you for having me, ChessBase India. And don't forget, play your best, but always with a good spirit and a good heart. See you on the other side.